But yeah, it's just the three of us. First time all year it's been just the three of us. I'm looking forward to catching up on with each of you and not having some fucking loser in here with his so-called interesting life that I have to stay in.
Don't get me started on the guests. All of them.
I can count on neither of you to drink your own piss. So this is going to be a classy.
That was actually pretty cool.
That was pretty good. You know, so I guess it's worth the try. We were going to start off with Corona. We all agreed.
Just
but
go with whatever. Who cares?
Dude, so I don't know if it ended that way, but before the show went live, like the show, before I make the show public, it gets a couple thousand views. I've made about 3,000 videos. And this one was by far the lowest rated video I ever made. Ever. And there was a period where people were just dislike because we were late. Like the show hadn't even started yet, and I'd have thousands of dislikes because we live streamed it. And
people didn't like the piss.
No, that was 2 weeks ago. Last week was Boogie.
I thought people loved the piss.
They did love the piss.
Yeah.
People,
the Boogie episode, the last one we did. Yeah.
Oh, they didn't like Boogie.
Yeah, I never took it personally, not for a second. I think that.
Yeah, it's not about us.
Yeah.
Look. I mean, you can tell. Look. I'm trying to think how I want to.
Not about us this time.
I feel the same way. You know, like Boogie can irk me sometimes. Like I feel like he bullshits a lot about things he doesn't know. When he's talking about cars, I was just like, all right, come on. If you're gonna lie, pick something that's not in my wheelhouse here. Like I know this is just silly what you're saying right now. I don't want to just call you out, but like, come on, don't say
the
this.
whole fucking like 35 first minutes of that episode. I would ask something or like start a conversation, and like maybe 15 minutes in, I'm like, I don't think Kyle said a goddamn word this entire time. And then I started to notice, and by like the 25-minute mark, I'm like, he's making a point to say nothing this entire time.
I find nothing interesting about you, sir. I'm sorry.
I was on the other.
Unless we're going to talk about those chiclets that you got jangling around in there, then I don't want to talk about your nonsense. I'm afraid.
I must be in the wrong because 70% of the people agree with you guys. But I thought that his career trajectory and arc on YouTube was interesting. You know, we've watched a guy be one of the most beloved guys on YouTube. They called him the Mr. Rogers of YouTube. Now they're on the other side, attacking him for anything he does and says. That's dissecting it, finding problems, a manipulator. And like, that was interesting to me to watch the arc. Not to anyone else, I guess.
I never saw him as the Mr. Rogers. I've always just seen like huge threads of people hating on him, and not on like specific subreddits, but like one week I'll see him on I'm a total piece of shit, and then I'll see him on live stream fails. And you've never seen Taylor made a little face. There's a subreddit called I am a total piece of shit.
You showed that to me. I just didn't know there was a.
Yeah, you know, look. I don't know what to say about him. I don't want to be too shitty toward him. He comes on the show. You know, he's polite to us. He's kind and everything. I think he does his best. Most of the time, as long as the topic is something that he is interested in or finds relevant. But then if it's not, you know, zip, he's out, he's checked out of the conversation. And, you know, he's got a track record of doing some things that, and I won't enumerate them, but you know, if you didn't like them, you probably know what they are already. So, I don't hate Boogie or anything. I just don't like spending 4 hours with him at a time. And hey, I don't think that's an insult. There are a lot of people that I don't want to spend 4 hours chatting with at a time.
I was thinking about that the other day where I was like, is there anyone on a given week that I've spent in the last, 6.5 years talking to as much as Woody and Kyle? Like, no. Not even significant others. Like, I'm not sitting there talking 5 hours straight ever with anyone. Like very rare. Well, 4 hours
very
straight
rare.
and then the other hour. You know?
Maybe like on very brief occasions, like if we're in a big gaming session with like maybe that, you know, like I talk about on the show a little bit, like nobody, Mitty and Urban and Chiz and those guys that I used to play like tons of PUBG with and Call of Duty and still, you know, Tarkov and stuff like, but no, not on the regimen that we're on, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And the day those checks stop coming, fuck both of you.
Oh, those guys? No, they were pieces of shit.
Dust in the wind, boys. Dust in the
wind. Kyle's just flooring it to Colorado.
Yeah,
finally.
I had a Boogie thing to say about his trajectory. I don't know, but yeah, I think maybe I'm to blame to some extent because I thought the drama was interesting and it became part of the show. But you live and learn.
I don't care. You live and you learn. You know,
Yep.
we do one of these every week. There's 4 hours every time, and then there's another hour.
And they're time stamped. If you don't like it should be easy to find a part you like.
We do the best we can with what we've got.
And we don't have a lot, guys.
Still
Doing our
very
best.
little.
Yeah.